All right, what up, y'all? Thanks for stopping back in. It's been a couple days. Hope everybody had a good 4th of July. Hope everybody has all their fingers still. What they started with before yesterday morning.
Yeah.
We'll get into my top half of the countdown for favorite sports movies. I got a couple in here that I'm interested to see if you've even seen, to be honest with you.
Okay.
So
cool.
We'll see. We'll check it out. But thanks for stopping in, guys. Let's jump right in. Number 10 for me. See if this sparks anything for you. Feel the rhythm. Feel the rhyme.
Cool.
Get on up. It's bobsled time. Cool runnings, brother. I fucking love this movie, dude.
Nice.
It's funny because this movie has like literally nothing to do with any sport I've ever really been interested in, right? Running, bobsled, even during the Olympics, like I'll turn the bobsled events on or whatever.
Yeah.
But I don't get like super excited by them. But this movie, I remember watching this movie as a kid just over and over and over and over again and just laughing my ass off. And like, honestly, just the concept of it, I thought was super cool. And funny thing is too, and I don't know if you track the Olympics that much, Creator, as far as sports goes, but couple of Winter Olympics ago, I think it was a handful of female track athletes for the U.S. put together a bobsled or a luge team.
Really?
Yeah, because they were starting to figure that that like initial sprint burst of speed, because they were so strong, they had such strong legs and such powerful like initial, get off the line and sprint.
Yeah.
They had put a team together. I can't remember how well they did or not, but it was just it's a good idea. But it's funny to think that it, kind of manifested from this movie back in the early 90s probably.
Yeah. That's fascinating. How did they do, D?
I can't remember if they did well or not. They may have medaled. I'm trying to think if they did or not, because they might have been like the first ones to medal in summer and winter games both or whatever. But
okay.
But a really cool idea. I mean,
Cool.
if you can learn how to, drive or steer, whatever the terms are for controlling a bobsled, I don't fucking know.
Yeah, dog. Yeah.
But anyway, just a super cool movie, man. Like I really like just the comedy behind it, the idea of them putting together this team that, has no sponsors, no money. Everybody just laughs at them because it's like, they're from Jamaica. There's no snow. They've never seen snow and ice. And to throw them into the mix like that, everybody just doubted them. And it's been so long since I've seen it. I can't even remember. I don't think they end up doing that well. I think it's just more of kind of like the spirited, endeavor of the movie or whatever. But I always really liked that movie.
Oh,
always really liked that movie. Them sliding down in that bobsled they made up with the wheels and shit and crashing it into everything.
You're dead, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Yep.
Nice, dog.
Yeah. I always really liked that movie.
Uncle Buck is the coach, dog.
Yeah, he is. Yep.
Yep.
And they take some solid convincing, which I get, man. Nobody wants to hitch their wagon or hitch their horse to that wagon.
Yeah, dog. Yeah.
But it's cool when they do, though. So,
yeah,
man, I like that one.
I'm a badass mother who won't take crap off at nobody. Say it again like you mean it.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, dog. Yeah. Cool
runnings. I can't even tell you how long it's been since I think I've seen that.
Yeah.
It's been a while, but I like that movie.
I don't mean to cut you off, brother. It's interesting you had that one, man. Before I actually moved out here with you, man. I actually just watched it a bit ago, man.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice.
It was a little before it bounced out here, man.
I need to check it out again because it's been a while, but man, I really like that movie.
Yeah.
Cool, man.
Cool.
I'll keep going. The next one, this one I kind of hinted at in your video. When you had talked about the, I can't think of what it was called now, the Marky Mark one, Invincible.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, about having some kind of average Joes jumping in the mix. My number 9 is The Replacements.
Oh, nice, man.
Yeah,
Nice,
this is another one of those, man, that I
Cool.
just love. I fucking love this movie. I could watch this movie anytime I see it on TV. Again, just the idea behind it, like the pros are all on strike because they don't think they're getting paid enough and whatever, and being cocky and arrogant. So the team's like, well, whatever, we'll hold a tryout and we'll just take on some people. And, they take on Keanu Reeves, who plays Shane, what is it, Falco? I think it is.
Yep.
Shane Falco.
Yeah.
And, he was like, he had some glory days in football, I think in college or whatnot. And then they take on just a ragtag bunch of dudes, man. I think they get a dude out of prison, and like
Yeah,
their kicker is some soccer player, from Australia or whatever. And
Smoking, dog.
yeah, dude. They got the sumo wrestler who always shoving eggs in his mouth and shit. And like, just again, the idea behind it and giving the underdog a chance and letting, people who may have initially maybe missed their shot get that opportunity and put something together with it. And, with a lot of these sports movies too, just showing there's a lot more to it than the skill side of things. There's all the heart that's involved, and just a super cool story. And I just like, Keanu Reeves, man, big up to him on just about every single thing he's ever done and just being just a stand-up human being. But it just reflects even in this movie. I remember the scene, like one of the first practices or whatever he shows up to, and the pros are all outside, kind of boycotting and protesting or whatever. And they flip his truck over, and he's just like, whatever, piece of shit anyway. He doesn't give a fuck. Doesn't matter. Worked out for him in the end because homegirl cheerleader gave him a ride home.
Yep. Oh yeah.
I was wondering if I could ride you home.
Did some
couple
upgrades,
couple modifications,
Yeah.
Light shines off a disco ball.
Yeah.
But and she's not bad either as far as that goes.
Yeah.
But
Yep.
even that I thought was super funny too. Her running the cheerleading squad and them getting a bunch of strippers and shit.
Of course,
shit's come out to the tryouts and stuff. Such a good movie though, man. I really like that one. Like I said, that one for me is just comedic relief too. Like every single thing about it, it can be on the background and I'll just watch it every time I see it on.
Nice.
I don't remember what year that came out, but I don't know.
Mandy, I actually think, man, I was actually just watched that the other night too, man. Interestingly, yeah, of course you already know, dog. Like,
dude, I would almost guarantee if you tell me that what am I at 9? My number 8 is a movie that you just recently watched. I'm out of here. I actually am curious to see if my number 8 is one you've even ever seen. To be honest with you,
okay.
I'm hopeful that you've seen it, but I'm not sure.
Cool.
But when did you watch the Replacements?
Mandy was probably 3 or 4 weeks ago, man.
Really?
Yeah, man.
Nice.
I didn't get a chance to finish it because my lazy ass was heavy eyed or whatever. But man, I completely forgot, dog, that Happy from Iron Man was one of the main linebackers, dog. Like a SWAT member.
Yeah, he was the SWAT guy. Yeah, and that was one of the cool things, the dynamic between him and the convict, right? That they got, who was a pretty good baller, I guess, or whatever, too, and them having to work together. But just in the beginning there, man, just mad hating each other.
Oh, yeah, dog. Eating, dog. Yeah, dog.
Yeah, man. Jon Favreau's done some cool shit, man. He is, like, if you really look back to all this different shit that he's done, man, he has done a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
He's been in all kinds of stuff, man.
Yeah.
I remember even back to, not even movie related, but even TV show. He was in Friends for like at least a season, and he was like some tech billionaire or some shit. He was like super, super rich, but all he wanted to do was be the UFC champion. So he like was learning how to like MMA. And this was back in the 90s, man. This was before that stuff even got like really on the map.
Yeah.
But the premise of it within those episodes or whatever was that he was terrible at it and he kept just getting his ass whooped.
Oh, got you, dog. Got you. Man. Good old Friends, man. It seems like back in the day, brother, that they had a lot of those popular cats.
Yeah.
Just like make some special appearances.
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
That's cool.
That was one of those sitcoms that really pulled a lot more weight than you really think about. That was one of the first shows, I think, back in the day where actors and actresses really got truly paid for what they were doing. I remember there was a handful of seasons in or whatever, they were doing like renegotiating their contracts to the point of it being like million or millions of dollars per episode or whatever, because the show had gotten so big. But definitely holds its mark as far as in the time of things or whatever. But anyway, good old Favreau. Nice, I love his shit, man. He has done such a good job with so many things.
Even like we were talking about the other day, the food truck movie that he has on Netflix, man.
Yeah,
that's a good one too.
That's a really good movie. Mm-hmm. He actually too, and I don't know if you ever saw this, because he did that movie and he like kind of got into like interested in being a chef and cooking. He did a show, an actual cooking show with one of the chefs. I'm trying to remember. It's a super famous chef. It's actually a really, really good show. And they go to like a couple of like restaurants or celebrities' houses, and like the three of them will make a meal together and talk about movies. And
Really?
Yeah, it's a super
Damn.
cool cooking show.
Homeboy's super talented. That's cool.
Yep.
That's cool.
Yep. And
Nice.
just talking about kind of how he like, there's one episode where he talks about this like pizza dough, this specific pizza dough that he's making. And like, seems like he's really taking it beyond just being able to cook and really actually like from that movie. But I think the movie was inspiration for him to actually branch out and learn how to like professionally cook and cook for his family and stuff, and just really kind of mastering every craft he kind of gets into, right?
Damn, that makes sense, especially for the recent projects he's doing with the Mandalorian.
Yeah.
Gotcha,
Well, and they go to is it Tiki or Taiki? I'm not sure how you say it. YTT. You know what I'm talking about? He directs a lot of that stuff. He's in a couple of those movies too, in a lot of the Marvel stuff, but he's got his hand in a lot of that stuff, like in the background usually, but he did a lot of stuff directing some of the Mandalorian episodes and stuff like that with Favreau. And they go to his house at one point. I think they're at his house when they're making the pizzas or whatever, but just it's a super cool show, man. You should check it out if you get a chance, if you're into the cooking shows and stuff. But
Nice. Cool.
Anyway, to continue on, number 8. This one, like I said, I'm curious to see if you've even seen this one. Mystery Alaska.
Oh, yeah, man.
Have you seen that?
Sabertooth, shout out to you, brother. Appreciate what you did the other day, man. Much love. But, man, Sabertooth, this is one of his favorite movies, man.
Cool.
And, yeah, he had me watch this. Good movie.
Nice.
Good
Hell
movie,
yeah.
man.
This is such a good movie.
Yep.
This actually kind of has almost like undertones of my last 2 movies. If you really think about it, it's kind of like the underdog story, getting a chance at something a little bit bigger, people who you wouldn't expect to be at that level type of thing. So Mystery Alaska, if you guys don't know this one, this actually has Russell Crowe in it. So it was a big time movie back in the 90s or late 90s. I think it was maybe 98 or 99, maybe. But it follows a town called Mystery Alaska. And their big thing is their local, just ragtag bunch of players that play hockey, right? The Russell Crowe's like the sheriff, the fastest skater on the team is like the kid who sweeps the floors at the grocery store and whatever else. And they just have this hockey team that they put together. It's Alaska, right? You would almost expect it's going to be hockey based or whatever, but just a really, really cool thing. They have this really good team, and somebody gets the idea to bring in a professional hockey team. So they bring in the New York Rangers. They set this whole big like exhibition game up with this town's team or whatever, to bring in the Rangers. And it's supposed to be this big publicity stunt and all this stuff and whatnot, because, in Mystery Alaska in the movie and stuff, they play pond hockey. That's kind of their thing, is like on a frozen pond, not so much like an ice rink itself. They play like in natural conditions, which if you don't know, and if you don't have any experience doing that, it is very, very, very difficult. The best way to explain it is when you play regular ice hockey, for the most part, the ice is pretty smooth because it gets Zamboni'd before the game starts, right? So the Zamboni drives around and puts water and snow down to fill in all the cracks and the dings and nicks and whatever that the skates chip out of the ice.
Eddie, I don't mean to interrupt you, brother, but Marshawn Lynch, dog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it cleans the surface of the ice, right? When you play pond hockey, though, the surface of the ice is chewed up, it's bumpy, it's rigid. So even when you just pass the puck to each other, it's like bop, 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 and it can go like any fucking direction because it could hit a chunk of ice and it's gone, right? So it's really, really hard to play pond hockey compared to regular on the ice hockey. So just a cool idea, though. And I don't know if this is what led to it in the NHL, but the NHL every year does a winter classic game. And they pick a city where they play in an outdoor rink. So they still modify and make their ice or whatever, but they play it like an outdoor baseball or outdoor football. So yeah, it's super cool. Yeah. So that way they're playing, like it could be snowing out and like they'll play in the snow, which we did as kids because, we didn't have ice rinks and stuff in a lot of the towns we would go to and stuff, or they'd have an ice rink, but it wouldn't have a roof over it. So you're playing in snow, sometimes rain, like all kinds of weird conditions. But anyway, it's a whole different concept. It's not just as easy as getting out there and playing hockey, but the movie is super cool because it's got this just great dynamic of characters, and you kind of follow them in their personal lives and what they kind of just, do. And it's leading up to this big game that everybody thinks is just going to be a blowout. And honestly, this one I haven't seen in a long time either, so I can't remember how the actual game itself turns out once they play the Rangers, but that's not really the point of the movie. It's kind of following these guys who just do this because they love it. Like they're not doing it. They're not getting paid. It's not like it's a minor league team. It's just this local town team, almost kind of like a beer league team that a lot of people end up on when you get to be our age, kind of playing that intramural style stuff or whatever. But just a super cool movie. It's got a phenomenal cast to it. I mean, some big name people. I remember this as being a relatively big movie when it came out, but just a good movie, just a good wholesome movie. Like I said, good story to it. Just really cool concept if you're into, good heartfelt sports movies and especially hockey movies. It definitely is up your alley. If you haven't seen it, I would say check it out.
Good old Russell Crowe, man. It's been a bit of watching that movie, but good old Russell Crowe. I'm assuming around the time when he was doing all of his cool movies, bro.
Yeah, yep.
That's cool.
And I can't remember if this was before or after Gladiator, but I mean, when it came out, I know it was a big deal with him being in it. It wasn't just like, oh, this guy,
Yeah.
He was still pretty popular at the time when it came out. So
yeah.
Super cool though, man. I really like that movie.
Cool.
There's a cool scene too. The dude, I think he's like skating to town, but he's skating on like the river and he's just like skating.
Oh, nice.
The whole way there. It's like, instead of taking like the road or people aren't riding their bikes to work, I mean, these towns, and I know they kind of glorify it as far as what we, think of when it comes to Alaska and the tundra of Alaska. And probably some parts are like this, but you see a lot of it where they're like constantly just on like snow machines and four-wheelers and stuff like that. But it's just cool to see this guy kind of just skating along or whatever and doing his thing. And I don't know, cool. just a really cool hockey movie, man. Just really cool cool concept. Again, it kind of follows almost in line with like what we're talking about, even with like the replacements and stuff like that, getting some average Joes and taking them to the next level, but at the same time, kind of following where they're at with their life and what they're doing. And I don't know, just a good movie, man. I really like that one.
Mandy, that seems like almost heaven, dog. If you could do that to work on a river, man, and skate.
Yeah, you already know.
Yeah.
I can't think of what it's called. Somebody created this. They've been doing it for years now. There's like a downhill ice skating event where you skate down this like track and it's got jumps and like, but it's a race. So there's like 4 of you that go down at the same time. Wow. Yeah, it's wild.
Wow.
Yeah.
Damn.
It's some X Games shit.
Damn.
This one I think you're going to like, man. I think you're going to like that I have number 7 on my list. Number 7 for me is White Men Can't Jump.
Nice, dog. Yeah.
Oh,
okay.
man.
Old
This
school.
is just hell yeah, old school. This is just another one that I really like, man. The Wesley Snipes, Woody Harrelson.
Yep.
Oh man,
Yep.
what's homegirl's name?
Rosie something.
Bro, yeah. Rosie Perez, man.
Gotcha.
Just being loud and obnoxious like you'd expect. But
Yeah.
what a cool fucking movie, man. And we talked about this in your movie or in your video that I'm not a huge basketball fan,
Yeah.
really, but like I love this movie. I like the hustle of it. I like that, people just mad dog homeboy for being white and, he can't play ball, this, that, and the other. And there's this back and forth, the 2 of them are hustling people. And then, him and Wesley have a falling out and stuff because I think he was hustling him. And like, he's trying to make all this money to keep Rosie from leaving his ass, who she leaves like a million times because he's a loser and he can't get his shit together. And every time he makes money, he loses money. And like the struggle, man, just the struggle of the streets back then. And like playing that yard ball, man, like that for me just is, it's a super cool movie in my opinion as far as the sports side of things go. And it's different too, if you can tell, kind of a lot of mine don't really follow the traditional path of like the professional team. And we're kind of, we're following, like the Kurt Warner movie, which I really did like, like it's not like that where it's this kind of a story. It's just, the athletics that are in people's lives and what they're doing with their athletics, how they're playing their athletics. Does it run their life? Does it, like in this case, they're doing it to make money and he's trying to get ahead, but he keeps screwing her over. And like, she's working on her own shit. She was trying to be on Jeopardy or something. So she's constantly like reading all this stuff and trying to be super smart and stuff and get on the show, which I think she ends up getting on and making some money there or whatever. But just the back and forth of it all. And then like when she goes over to his house and confronts the wife and stuff and is like, you give us all money back and all this shit. And it's just, nah. Like, homeboy lost it fair and square, kind of just those street rules, man. Kind of how, some of us grew up kind of playing a lot of games by street rules. It just kind of was what it was, man. And that one kind of hits home a lot. I think this was one that my brother used to watch a lot because I've told you guys before, my brother was a big basketball fan. So this one kind of fit in well because it was street ball and it was something my brother watched a lot. So I always kind of was there, watching it too. Because he always, of course, he had pick as the older brother. He got to pick what we watched or whatever. So I'd come home and he'd be watching that. I'd be like, all right, whatever, man. Looking back though, I should be thanking him because I think there's a handful of scenes in there you get a little bit of side boob.
Gotcha, man. Gotcha.
So always wearing that tank top, trying to keep it in there.
Yeah.
I'm just a young buck, like, oh
yeah,
hey.
dog. Yeah. Yeah, dog.
Hella 90s ass movie though. I mean, everything about it. If you watch it now, man, the hats, the look, fanny packs.
Oh yeah.
But
yep.
But I love this movie, man. To me, this is like a super nostalgic movie.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Shoot, man, my ass still dressed the same way, dog, from back in that day. Yeah, dog. Yeah.
Nice.
Yep.
Yeah, I like that one though.
Man, D, it's been a bit since watching this movie, brother, but yeah, I can remember, of course, the street ball thing, and of course everybody said he couldn't dunk, man, but yeah, he goes up and dunks, man. Of course, wins some money from it, but
yeah.
Oh yeah, man.
Hell yeah.
Oh yeah.
That hustle game, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. What a cool movie though, too. I mean, it just.
All right, what up, y'all? Hey, I don't know what happened, but the video stopped recording for some reason. I didn't know it when we were doing it, so as I'm editing, I'm just going to fill you guys in because it skipped or didn't get my number 6. Me and Creed had a good conversation about it. My number 6 on the list was Creed. I'll give you just a real quick reason why. This, for me, we talked about this in greater depth, but for me, it was the continuation of a story, right? So we came out of the Rocky movies and they were able to continue the story without it having to be a movie based on Rocky, using original characters and stuff like that and keeping the storyline going, which is something I'm super big on. I really love it when movies do that. I'm way more into that than seeing remakes and stuff like that. So that's why Creed came in at number 6 for me. I know we did say that we weren't going to put martial arts movies or fighting movies in. I did slip this one in. I guess I don't really consider it to be one of the martial arts movies that I would pick. This one for me is more about the story and whatnot. And, Michael B. Jordan, can't go wrong with him in any movie. So I really like what they did with that one. Again, I'm not sure why this didn't record. I know Creed had a lot of really good input in this, all the way down to even how cool and good the soundtrack and stuff was. So apologize for that, guys. Make sure you stay tuned, though. We do have the final half of Creed's top 10 coming up, so his 1 through 5, which is a really cool list. I do know what's on it already, so stay tuned for that. We'll get that out as soon as we can. It's a little bit longer, but it's a good one. But thanks for tuning in, guys. Make sure you like, subscribe, do all that stuff. Check out the channel here on Ghost Arcade. Make sure you watch the videos that we've already posted. If you haven't already, make sure you jump over. I haven't put something out on Sector7 Podcast in a little while, but there's still some good content there if you guys are looking for something to watch on YouTube, so check it out. See you.